Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to be making a couple cards with the Magnolia Mood Bundle. And so I'm going to create a little springy atmosphere and hopefully welcome spring soon around here. My name is Lori from Loritamarie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Calgary, Alberta. And I come here live so that I can give you fun tips, techniques, ideas, and inspiration to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. So, like I said, today is all about the Magnolia Mood Bundle. I know the stamp set is backordered already. So popular, right? But stamp sets, they come in back in inventory pretty quickly. So just keep an eye. Just put it on your wish list for when it comes back in. Or if you want me to keep an eye on when it's back in, I can do that too. So you could just let me know if you're interested in it. And I would love to keep an eye on that inventory list for you. The online exclusives, which is what the Magnolia Mood Bundle is a part of, means they're just products that are not tied to any catalog per se. And so they just have a little more flexibility for how long they're available. So there are a ton of things. So you may just have seen kind of the bigger suites. Maybe you've seen some projects trickling in from other people, or maybe you haven't seen anything. Go to stampinup.ca, check out the online exclusive section, and you'll see two full suites, a little latte love, so the coffee suite, and then there's a zinnia suite, but then there's a ton of other products. I had my card class last night, and we were talking about how there's always something that you've missed. There's embossing folders, there's embellishments, there's other stamp sets and bundles in there, so they're sure to be something that catches your eye. So lots of great things that you can create cards with. The other thing I want to quickly mention before we get to crafting today is I have another event this month coming up, and it's called my Spring Extravaganza. So it's kind of got a big name, but it's just a fun little card class where we can make a few spring-themed cards. And I'll give you a tiny little sneak peek here, but we are going to make one with the Magnolia Mood Bundle, one kind of like Eastery, springy themed fun folds one, and then one with the coffee suite as well. And so it's just going to be a lot of fun. So you can come in person. You can order a class to go, which means that I can ship the whole packet and everything for you to make, and all the instructions anywhere in Canada. Or if you're not in Canada, I can send you a tutorial with all the instructions that you can make the cards on your own as well. You're going to get a bunch of cool products, plus all the supplies to make the cards, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So registration is up on my website. If you just go to classes, my website is loritamariecrafts.ca, and then just shop classes, and there'll be a link there for Spring Extravaganza. So go check it out. It's just fun to call it that, right? It's just a fun name. All right, let's go down to my desk and let's get to the crafting. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask while we're going along here, and I can always answer them later if I can't answer them right now. And I was going to say something else, but now I totally forgot what it was. Oh, these cards are going to be my new card kit to go. So if you place an order with me with my host code over the next couple of weeks, I think before the 20th, I will send you everything you need to make these cards. So I can't include any stamped images, but I can include all the paper cut and prepped for you to get crafting with it. So I'll mention that again later. So let's show you the stamp set first. So here's the lovely stamp set. And you've got this nice big image here, the big magnolia, and we've got 3 other images, and you've got 3 sentiments. Thank you for being you. And what I like about this one is that it's kind of spaced out, that you could easily just take the thank you and use it by itself. You got happy birthday, which is nice, just a classic happy birthday. And then just a note to let you know that you are loved. So I think it's got like 3 really great sentiments, of course, that you can use for so many different occasions. Then it coordinates with the dies. So you've got the open dies that go with the 4 stamped images, plus you've got these fun detail dies. And so we're going to cut those out together today and to show you some tips of how to cut that out and how to make a card with that. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to color some flowers. So I don't do a lot of coloring on here, so bear with me on that. And I was thinking about coloring ahead of some of it ahead of time, but I didn't. So we get to color together today. So I'm going to use the big one. And then this one's kind of like the closed bud. And, you know, I've never actually, sorry, everything sticks now. I've never actually seen a magnolia in person before. So I think I can make it any color I want, right? I did look up some inspiration online for magnolias, but yeah, we can't grow them here in Calgary. So I don't even think I've ever seen one. All right, so I am going to stamp the outline in black. And then we're going to use our Stampin' Blends. And actually, sometimes when I have a big image, I like to put my stamp down and then take my black and kind of tap it on like this. Then I can kind of make sure I got better coverage there. But my goal today with coloring, and then we're going to use the Stampin' Blends, is that you don't have to be a pro colorer. I mean, some people really are and can create beautiful texture and shading and depth. I haven't really mastered that skill quite yet. But what I want to show you is, you know, when you want to make cards, you just want to sit down and be able to put a few products together and feel like, wow, I'm so artistic. I can totally do this, and it turned out great. And so I want to make it simple and easy for you. So when I was creating the cards for today, I stamped out a whole bunch. I grabbed different colors and I colored a bunch. Actually, I asked what everyone's favorite was. So I colored one in Calypso Coral. I did one in Bubble Bath and one in yellow. And the Calypso Coral was by far, hands down, the favorite color. So I am going to do Calypso Coral today. So I'm going to use my Calypso Coral blends. I'm going to start with the light. And I always start with the light. And I'm going to color everything in with the light, actually. And normally I would use the brush end because we've got a lot of ground to cover here. But my marker is wearing out. And I've been trying to, I think Calypso Coral was the first blend color that I bought. And so it's definitely had its day. And so my brush tip end is all worn out. So I'm going to use my fine tip end here, and hopefully you don't mind watching me color a bit here. So every color that has blends comes in a light and a dark, and each marker in the light and the dark has a felt tip end and a brush tip end. So that gives you good flexibility for how you want to do your coloring. And almost all the colors have blends. I think there's just a few that don't. And actually, I don't really know the reason why some of them don't. Maybe they just don't turn out well, or I don't know what it is. So yeah, me and my sister have been talking about, we're slowly trying to build up our colors. So just know that even I don't have every single color. You just kind of pick your favorites, what you think you might use the most, and you can kind of build your collection little by little. Maybe add one set of blends to every order until you kind of got some basics, and then you can see how you feel about them. And then I'm going to color this little one in too. So I always start with a pink. So whichever pink speaks to you, and then I grab a green, because more likely than not, I'm going to be coloring a flower. So you would easily need a pink and a green. And then the next color that I always get is yellow, because, well, I love yellow. It's my favorite color. But you usually want it for the center of your flower. So then I would grab a yellow as well. Those are good places to start anyway. Okay, so now that I've got the base down, I'm going to take the dark Calypso Coral, and I'm going to use my felt tip end again. And then I'm just going to go over where the artist of the stamp set has already created shading. So if you're an artist and already understand how shading works and you can create texture, that is awesome. I do not have that gift, so I need the Stampin' Up artist to do that work for me. So I am just following the lines of what is already here on the stamp set. And you don't have to make it look pretty imprecise here with the dark, because we're going to blend it back in with the light again. So these are alcohol-based markers, and so there's no streaky, no lines. it looks seamless when you're coloring it. And I'm just going over all the dark spots that are already shaded for the stamp set. And same for this one. I'm just going to create a little bit of dark on here. So I'd love to hear if you've tried out the blends already, if you love them, if you're scared of them, if they intimidate you. Tell me what you think about it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back over. I don't know if you can see that. Let's bring that up a little bit. So it does look a little like wonky right now, right? So then I'm going to go back over with the light. And this is kind of where your blending comes in. And then it's going to help those two colors to go together better so it looks more natural. And you can keep adding layers and blending until you're kind of happy with how it looks. So you can see that one already looks better. And then now we'll go into this one. All right. So I was going to look this up. I don't know if magnolias are a spring flower. They bloom in the spring, but I am in the zone of wanting to create springy projects. Spring is slow here in Calgary. I don't know about where you're from, but it is slow. So you kind of get excited. You have a really nice day and you think, oh, spring is almost here. And then it's cold and it snows. And then you're like, oh, okay. So we had some pretty cold weather this week and lots of snow. And it's warming up over the weekend and warming up for a few weeks, but that doesn't mean we're done with wintry weather yet. Okay, so maybe I should have started this a little bit. You have to watch me color the whole thing. So I'm just, and maybe I won't be as fussy as I normally might be on it, but you just kind of keep coloring it in until you're happy with how all your blending looks. And I would say don't be a perfectionist about it if you're new to it. Just play around. And maybe you just stamp a few and you just play around with it and that's all. And you just practice. And if it doesn't make it to a card, then it doesn't make it to a card. And I think that's all right too. And then I've got Lemon Lolly here. And I'm going to put that in my center. And then I decided to go a little bit bright with my green. So this time I'll show you the brush tip end here. You see how much faster it goes. So I'm using Granny Apple Green. If you don't want a green that's this bright, although this doesn't look too bright, Old Olive is a great green for leaves too. So if you're looking for some staples, those are my suggestions for you. And so this is the brush tip end. And so you can see it goes a lot quicker there. And then I'll hold this up again when I'm done so you can kind of see the finer detail. And I just went way over the lines there. Oops. I'm trying to go fast. Okay, there we go. And then again, these leaves have great detail on them already just from how they're made, right? So you can just, this is the same, the light. I'm not even pulling out the dark marker for this one, but now I'm just going to go over the veining that the artist has already created on these leaves. And then you can see it's just going to add a little more depth without too much effort on your part. And I'm not going to be too fussy with this. That's the beauty of the Blends markers. They'll just kind of blend in just for you. Okay, I think that's good. There is our Magnolia. It looks so good. So let's cut it out. And then let's put our card together. So that was the hard part of the card. And then we've got a lovely design here for you. So you need your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, platform 1, 2, and then a cutting plate, and then your cardstock. And then we're going to use the outline dies. So try not to knock everything off my desk here. So you're just going to line that up. And if you want to use washi tape or Post-it to help you keep everything in place, I'm just gonna put those on. There we go. Shakes my desk a little bit. All right. Pull everything off. And this is where the craft desk starts to get a little crazy. Do you feel like you always need more room? More room. All right, so there's our two flower pieces, and now we're going to put our cards together. So I'm going to use Pool Party as my base because I love Pool Party, and I think it looks great with so many different colors. And then I wanted to kind of combine it with a little black and white for a little, I don't know if modern is the right word, but just a little less formal. So any paper that you have that is black and white. This is actually from the Rock and Roll DSP that's in the mini catalog. And I would suggest just get a pattern that has more white than black. And then your card is going to look a lot lighter as opposed to one that's more black than white. And then I cut my Calypso Coral cardstock to match the flower. And it is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then the DSP is 1/4 inch smaller. So the DSP is 3 by 4 1/2. So I've just layered those up. And just using my seal, my tape adhesive here to put that on the center of my Pool Party card base. And the card base is just 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And then I've scored it in half at 4 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to put our flower on. So I'm going to layer these two up, and I'm going to tuck this one kind of behind. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to just put a little adhesive on the back of the bigger one. And then we're just going to kind of tuck this in back there. And now that it's one piece, I'm going to put dimensionals all over the back. So once you've got the flower colored and cut out, the rest of the card is going to come together rather quickly. And you can go crazy with your dimensionals like I am here, or however many you want. So we'll just pull that off. See if I can get all my backings off today. There we go. And then I wanted to stick with the black and white. So to try to tie in all the colors together, I'm just going to put this in the center, I think. I decided I wanted to use my gingham ribbon. And so this is just the black and white gingham. I need about 10 inches. And I don't know about you, but gingham and spring actually kind of go together. Actually, gingham and any season really go together. And just kind of like fold it in thirds, like back and forth like that. And we can put it right onto our card, or we can put it behind our sentiment. I'm just going to put a little adhesive down and stick it like that. And then for a sentiment, I just use a piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp the happy birthday in black. And then I have one more fun little detail to show you on this card. And then our first one is all done. So yeah, I think it would be fun, like you're watching a show. I've seen people online who say, like, when they're coloring, they just sit down and they watch TV or a show, and they just color a bunch of stuff. And then you could have a little collection of flowers. And then when you're ready to sit down and actually make your card, you can have all the pieces ready to make your card. So I wanted to create a little detail, a little lacy detail to go just to dress this up a little bit. And so I have this white. It's about 3 inches. And so look at this. I want, if you can see that. Look how cute that is. That's from the Darling Details dies. And this is the die piece. And so I've just gone ahead and cut that out of Calypso Coral. And then we're just going to layer it up so you see a little bit behind. Oh, and I just got black ink on it. No! Where did that come from? I don't even know where that came from. I think I might be able to snip it off. Shh, nobody needs to know. Okay, so we're gonna Put some adhesive down. I just want a little bit poking out. And then I'll just cut it to size. And I actually don't want any sticking out back there either. Okay, so then you just have the little lacy detail behind, and then I'm going to use dimensionals again. And then all you need is embellishments after that. Today I'm going to use the iridescent gems because they seem to pick up whatever color that you're using. So these are in the annual catalog, and they've been my favorites kind of since they came out. But it's really because they can take on, yeah, any color. So it can look more pink, it can look more coral, it can look more green, it can look more blue. They're so cute. Also, that would look good are the butterflies, of course. The brushed brass butterflies. But I've been using them a lot lately, so I thought maybe I should try to find a different embellishment for my card today. That is our first one. All right, so hopefully we don't take super long with our second one here. So for the second one, what I wanted to do was to show you a card that you could make with just the dies. So no stamping at all. So we've got the nice big one. There's actually a small one. And then there's 3 sets of leaves. So I'll pull them all out for you there. I'm actually only going to use these 2. And then we're just going to cut all these out. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine again. And platform 1, 2, 3. Let's grab our paper. And so my color scheme is Berry Burst and Bubble Bath. So honestly, this card took me forever to design. So I hope you like it. In the sense that I had an idea, but it was not coming together. It was not coming together. I tried and I tried so many different things. And then I finally decided it was the colors. Whatever colors I was using were not working out. I'm going to run mine through twice. I'm going to come back just because it has so many little details. And so once I chose Berry Burst as my main color, this card just came together. So if you're not happy with how your card is turning out, sometimes it can just be the color scheme. So I've got Bubble Bath, I've got Granny Apple Green, and we'll cut out the rest. Oh, can you see all that? And then we'll see how the rest comes together. And actually, while I have the machine out, we're also going to do some embossing. So let's cut those out. I apologize for the shaky as I go through here. Okay, and stuck to my plate there. Okay, so then we're going to use a 3D embossing folder. So now all I need is platform 1. I'm actually going to use Bubble Bath and the, oh great, now I forgot the name, Textured Art, or what's it called? It's been around for a while, and you can see that, but it's one of my favorites to create like a subtle background on a card. So here's a tip for you. I was trying to find a DSP that would make a great background for this card, and I was really struggling. And then I saw a different card somewhere, and they had just used texture as the background. So that's a, you know, maybe you don't have the DSP that's quite matching. If you just add texture to the card, then it adds the interest you're looking for without an actual pattern on it, right? It's a little more subtle. So I've got that as my card base. We're going to actually make this on basic white. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. Then let's get our flower. I'm going to grab that little foam pad. So when you've got an intricate die, grab your little foamy pad that you can get. They come in a pack of 2. I've got my old brush, but now the brush will attach to your, take your pick tool. So you'll just unscrew this, and then you'll have a brush end. And then you just run it through. So the foamy pad allows you to put some good pressure on there, and it's going to help release the dye, plus get all the little bits out. So you can see it's got, and then if something didn't come out, then we can just pick them out. And because we're on a video, mine are being fussy, right? Isn't that how it goes? They're still cut. I just wiggling them back and forth a little bit to kind of pull them out. But so that's that. It's so pretty, right? And then we've got the little one. Okay, so that's that one in Bubble Bath. Looks kind of white on the video there. And then I've got two leaves. One just has like embossed detail and one is cut out. All right. So we've got all the pieces here. And if you don't want to color out in color and you want to color it, let me show you a sample here. So it's really hard to see in the video, but you could cut it out in white. And I didn't fuss around too much with this. This is just something I was playing with. But then you could color with your blending brushes or your sponge daubers or whatever, and you could color the white dye, right? So I used a little bit of petal pink on this one and a little bit of old olive as I was playing around. So you could create the colors to your Magnolia flower that way if you didn't have the stamp set, for example. All right, let's start building up. So I've got my basic white card base. I've got my textured piece of Bubble Bath. And then I wanted to create a little backdrop for my collection of dies. So I just cut out a circle. So I just looked for whatever DSP I had in Berry Burst. And this is from the, oh, now I forgot the name of it. Cheryl, do you remember the name of it? It's the birthday one with the balloons in the animal catalog. Oh, the name just escaped me. So that's cut out from that because it's got lots of Berry Burst in it. And there's a few different patterns, right? So I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. And so this circle is cut out with the Stylish Shapes dies in the largest circle. And once it's in a circle, you can't tell that it's at an angle. So I'm going to make it an angle. Put that in the middle. And then we're going to create a little scene here with our, just layer all these up. So put some seal down. And then I'm going to put the Magnolia, the biggest one, as the background. Oh, I forgot one piece. Okay, I forgot a piece. That's okay. I'll show you my original sample and then you'll see which one I missed. Did the die get... Oh, that's why the die fell off my sheet. So where did it go? Anyway, it's a little like flower bud. So we've got this flower piece. There's a little flower bud to balance out the bubble bath, technically. And then we're going to put our leaves here. And then we're going to cover kind of all that up with our sentiment. So I feel like this wanted to be a little bit lower. What you can do is hold this up first and then see how you want things to go. But then I have one more piece I'll cut out and I'll tuck it in afterwards. And so for this one, I'm going to use just a note to let you know that you are loved. And we'll stamp that in black as well. And then we'll put that on our card. And if you want to add the gingham ribbon behind the sentiment, so on top of your flowers, but behind the sentiment, that would look good too. I was very tempted to do that, but then thought, maybe I don't need all the layers. Or maybe I do. Maybe you can just put on tons and tons of layers. All right, then we're gonna grab dimensionals again. And this shape is from the Stylish Shapes dies as well. It's the largest banner size piece. And then we'll just lay this. I feel like everything's being fussy. I just want a little bit of that green poking out. And we'll try to center that. Then you could grab your lovely iridescent gems or your butterflies or whatever your favorite gems are at the moment and put those on. I still didn't get that stuck in there. I'm going to have to show you my original sample. This card is fighting me. It's fighting me. I was talking last night in my card class about how I look very polished because you don't see me practice and how my card came together the first time. But today it wasn't very polished. So there you go. Oh, and this DSP is called Bright and Beautiful. Thanks, Joe. So here's my original sample. Looks a tiny bit, maybe only I can see the difference. But do you see this piece here? It's got like little buds. So I like that because it balances out the bubble bath there. So you've got 2 things of bubble bath, 2 of Granny Apple Green, and then you can layer them all up. All right, I have another card I want to show you before I go. And remember, these cards are going to be my card kit to go if you place an order. So you'll get all these pieces cut and prepped for you to make these cards. You'll just have to either do your own flower from something you have or purchase the Magnolia Mood stamp set to get the image there. But here's a bonus card just to show you a sample. So I also colored in Bubble Bath with my blends. And then there's also this cute little flower, right? So you've got this one that we use and the full-size one, but then you've got this cute little one too. And then I just kind of create a background. So I just stuck these right onto basic white, just flat. And then you can see I stamped the thank you, embossed it in black, and then just fussy cut it out. And then, like I said, it's easy to cut out because it's a little bit separated from that for being you. So that's just how you can see it in a different color. And believe it or not, on my blog post on Saturday, you can go check it out on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a yellow one. So I did all the colors, all the fun colors. So thank you guys for bearing with me today. I hope that you like those cards. Got a few little tips for your Magnolia Mood Bundle. Stay tuned for it to come back in stock. I know that it will be shortly, I'm sure, but you can just save this idea for later for when you're getting creative with it. Or I hope you had some tips with the blends if you haven't tried them out too much yet. So don't forget about my spring extravaganza. Check the online exclusives. And I will be back next week with a super cute Easter project that you're not going to want to miss. So I can't wait to share that with you. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.